We all know indie games are where the craziest and most original ideas are born. Unlike big studios, indie developers dare to experiment and surprise us with concepts we've never seen before. So today, I've gathered 10 indie mobile games with crazy ideas that will blow your mind. Make sure to like the video, subscribe for more, and let's dive right in. Alright, let's kick things off with Superliminal, a game by the indie studio Pillow Castle. This one is all about perspective. Literally, objects change size depending on how you look at them. Imagine picking up a tiny toy block, looking at it from the right angle, and suddenly it's bigger than a house. That's the kind of trippy puzzle solving this game is built on. What's even cooler is its origin story. It started out as a tech demo called Museum of Simulation Technology, and it actually won awards at Tokyo Game Show's Sense of Wonder Night, a festival celebrating innovation in indie games. And trust me, this one deserves the recognition. You're stuck inside a dream therapy program where reality bends, walls disappear, and nothing is what it seems. To me, the crazy genius here is how it takes something as simple as perspective, a thing we all take for granted, and makes it the star of the show. Coming up next, we've got Hyperlight Drifter, created by Heart Machine, a small indie studio led by developer Alex Preston. This game blew people away when it released back in 2016, and for good reason. It's got fast, razor-sharp combat, but here's the twist. It tells its story with absolutely no dialogue. Instead, everything is delivered through visuals, symbols, and atmosphere. You're basically piecing the story together by exploring its haunting, colorful world. And honestly, that silence makes the game feel so much more mysterious and emotional. What I love about Hyperlight is how it blends two worlds: retro-inspired pixel art that feels nostalgic, and super modern gameplay that feels smooth and fluid. It's like playing a forgotten classic from the past, but with a modern-day twist. The crazy idea here is storytelling without words. Game number 8 is a cult favorite, My Friend Pedro. This wild ride was created almost entirely by one person, Victor Ogren, under his indie studio Dead Toast Entertainment. And get this, its roots go all the way back to the Flash game era on Newgrounds. That's right, it started as a little internet experiment before becoming one of the most stylish shooters out there. Here's the crazy part, it's a game about slow motion gunfights, wall flips, parkour, and being guided by a talking banana. Yeah, your best friend is a surreal fruit, and it works. The gameplay is basically like mixing John Wick with a circus act. You're flipping, spinning, and shooting enemies in ways that feel almost like a dance. The crazy idea here is turning violence into ballet, and somehow making a fruit sidekick feel like the most natural part of the story. Now here's one that really messes with your head. Happy Game by Amanita Design, an indie studio from the Czech Republic. If you know them from Machinarium or Botanicula, you're probably expecting something cute and wholesome, but nope. This game takes a sharp left turn into nightmare territory. You play as a little boy trapped in psychedelic horror dreamscapes filled with creepy smiling creatures. At first, it looks bright and colorful, almost cheerful, but then you realize those smiles are terrifying, and the game turns into one of the most disturbing experiences you'll ever play. The puzzles are surreal, the atmosphere is unsettling, and the whole thing feels like you're stuck inside a fever dream. The crazy idea here is that contrast, the clash of happiness and horror. It makes you laugh 1 second, shiver the next, and question whether you'll ever see smiling faces the same way again. Alright, number 6 is one of the smartest games on this list, Baba Is You. Created by indie developer RV Tekari, literally just one guy, this puzzle game flips the rulebook. Actually, it is the rulebook. The rules of the game are written on screen as movable blocks, and you can push them around to change how the game works. For example, wall is stop can become wall is you, and suddenly you are the wall. It's pure chaos, but in the most genius way possible. What I love here is that the game doesn't tell you what to do. You experiment and rewrite reality until you find a solution. There's not much of a story, but honestly, it doesn't need one. The story is in the gameplay itself, in how your brain rewires itself with every puzzle you solve. The crazy brilliance of Baba Is You is simple. It turns language into gameplay and creativity into the ultimate weapon. Halfway through the list, we've got What the Car from Triband, the same indie studio behind What the Golf. And trust me, if you've played that, you know these devs love to get weird. Here's the setup. Instead of a normal racing game, you play as a car that's well, not really a car. Sometimes it has legs, sometimes it has arms, sometimes it grows a giant mustache. Every race feels like a brand new joke. One moment you're running like a marathon runner, the next you're wobbling, climbing, or even swimming. It's absurd, it's hilarious, and honestly, it's impossible not to laugh while playing it. The crazy idea here is unpredictability. Every race is a surprise, and instead of chasing realism, the game celebrates nonsense. It's a reminder that games don't always have to make sense, they just have to be fun. Now, let's talk about Slay the Spire. Created by Mega Crit, a tiny indie studio founded by just 2 developers, Anthony Giovanetti and Casey Yano. This game changed everything for roguelike fans. Instead of traditional combat, every battle is played through cards. You collect them, build your deck, and use them as your attacks. It sounds simple, but the strategy goes so deep. Every run feels different because the cards you pick shape your path through the dungeon. And here's the crazy idea. They mixed 2 genres that no one thought could work together, a roguelike and a deck builder. Somehow they made it addictive, challenging, and endlessly replayable. The story is light, but honestly, the gameplay is the story because your choices create a new journey every time you climb the spire. The crazy part? 2 guys pulled this off and the entire genre was never the same again. Coming in at number 3 is a hidden gem, same room, same day, created by a single developer under the indie studio Boogie Games. This one is all about repetition and change. You wake up in the same room, living the same day over and over, but every time something is different. Objects move, the walls reveal secrets, the window shows bizarre worlds, and little by little you realize the room isn't just a room, it's a reflection of your own mind and memories. That's the hook. The puzzle isn't just solving how to escape, it's solving yourself. The crazy idea here is how it turns something so simple, a single room, into an infinite, ever-changing mystery. It's unsettling, it's thought-provoking, and it feels like being trapped inside a dream loop you can't wake up from. Honestly, few indie games capture that psychological tension as well as this one. At number 2, we've got Balatro, created by Local Thunk and published by PlayStack. This game takes poker, something we all know, and turns it into absolute chaos. Instead of just playing hands to win chips, your poker combinations actually become your attacks. You progress through levels, upgrade jokers, and create insane combos that feel more like spells than cards. And here's the crazy part. It's a roguelike deck builder disguised as poker. Every run is different, every joker card changes the rules, and before long, you're building strategies that would never exist in real life. The story isn't the focus, but the surreal atmosphere makes it feel like you're in some kind of alternate poker dimension where rules bend and break. The crazy brilliance of Balatro is that it makes something familiar feel brand new and dangerously addictive. And finally, our number 1 pick, DREDGE, by Black Salt Games, a small indie studio from New Zealand. On the surface, it looks like a cozy fishing game. You're out at sea, catching fish, upgrading your boat, enjoying the calm of the ocean. But then, night falls, and everything changes. Strange shadows creep across the water, monstrous creatures rise from the deep, and suddenly that relaxing fishing trip feels like a nightmare. The crazy idea here is how it combines 2 opposite genres. Cozy fishing sim meets Lovecraftian horror. It's beautiful, terrifying, and unforgettable. You're not just fishing, you're uncovering cursed relics, unraveling mysteries, and questioning what's real and what's not. Honestly, DREDGE proves that even the most ordinary activity can become something extraordinary in the hands of indie developers. It's the perfect example of crazy creativity done right. That's the end of today's spotlight on some of the most original indie games out there. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll find all the links in the pinned comment. More exciting picks await in our past videos, so check them out. See you in the next one.